Hi, thank you for joining me today on this practice. We're going to slow it down quite a bit for this one, and we're going to be spending most of our short time together on the floor because so little of our time is dedicated to stopping, breathing, and relaxing. So if that's what you're looking for right now, then this would be a great class for you. You can either start in a seated position with legs, arms in any which way that you would like. If sitting on the floor is not optimal, you can always place something under your bottom, and that will elevate your hips above your knees. Another choice is to simply lie down in any position on your backside. And we're going to take a few cleansing breaths together to start. Place the arms and palms wherever they rest and land. And just feel your natural breath for a moment. Option to close your eyes if you'd like. And the next time that you take an exhale all the way down to that bottom release, we're going to take a big inhale together, filling all the way up to the top. A quick hold and then an exhale through the mouth. Again, inhale. Exhale. One more round. Hold for a moment. And then exhale completely. And if you chose to start your practice seated, go ahead and lie onto your back now. And if you're already on your back, then just stay there. And however you end up on your back side, take a bend into your knees so that the feet plant onto the mat. And the arms rest evenly at your sides. And start a few windshield wipers with the knees where they fall to the left and to the right. And you can let them fall a short distance at first, and slowly build to a deeper twist, letting the knees fall even further to the left and right, closer to the ground. You pick the pace and you pick the depth. You can even pause if you'd like on one side. Get an extra stretch in. And if you chose to pause, then go ahead and allow yourself a brief pause twist on the other. Find that breath again, those inhales and exhales, as you continue to windshield wiper just a few more times. Then bring the knees to center. Tuck them in towards the chest. Give them a squeeze. Few options here. You can rock side to side gently, again letting your motions grow bit by bit, or even taking the hips either together or separate, same direction, different directions, drawing circles so that you start to let the hips know that we're going to be moving a little. You can always pause in any of these positions. If one spot or another feels like it needs a little more time, then maybe you hang out in one position or another. And then drop the feet back down to the mat. And take a few motions with the neck and the shoulders. Maybe that's just letting the ear drop towards the mat left and right. Again, your pace, you pick the speed, and then option to hang out on one side as the chin falls towards one shoulder. And then you can also allow the chin to fall and rest to the other side. You can look up and down, or any other subtle movements. And then with a big inhale, reach the arms towards the ceiling. And then overhead, exhaling. Maybe the palms come close to the floor or touch the floor. Hang out for an extra breath or two. And then on your inhale, you'll reach your palms back up towards the ceiling. And then on your exhale, release them to the floor at your sides. And take that a couple more times at your pace. You can pause in one position, the other, or keep moving with your breath as you inhale, reach, and then arms come down on the exhale. And the next time that your palms reach towards the ceiling and then back down to your side, then roll off onto your left side. And you can always use, if you have a couple of props around, you can put a pillow under your arm, or you can just use your arm and shoulder itself. And then if anything interesting is going on in your hips, you can always add something in between there too, like a pillow, or if you have yoga blocks. But we're gonna move that top arm and shoulder in any motion and direction that we'd like. But let's move all the way from the fingertips to the collarbone. So don't forget to wiggle through the fingers, the palm circles around with the wrist. We reach behind, we reach overhead, we reach forward, back, around. Almost like we're conducting an orchestra. And then we'll take a few open twists here. So that top right arm is going to reach down in front of us. And the first twist on an inhale, we'll reach up and we'll reach back. And you could go to that first end range where you feel that slight tug. That's my twist right now in this moment. You can keep the knees together, or they may have slid apart. They're very different twists, so play around with that if you'd like. On your next exhale, you're going to bring that palm back down in front of you, and then we're going to take a little bit deeper of a twist. Or you can stay at that first end range if you'd like. It's up to you. Again, you can allow those knees to either slide apart, letting that upper hip shift, or keeping the knees together. Close it up, and then for your last twist, you do what you need to do. So maybe it's just I'm going to reach towards the ceiling, or I'm going to take an extra deep twist. This time I'm going to let my knees slide apart, or this time I'm going to keep them together. Hang out for an extra breath or two. And then you're going to bring that arm back down. Plant the palm so that you can free up that top leg to wiggle around a bit more, extending it in either direction, maybe behind you, bent knee or long kneed. And as long as you're moving it and getting that hip in all different directions, moving around, then you're doing it right. We're going to switch to our second side. So when you're ready, you're going to flip onto the back and then flip onto your second side. So I'm going to keep to my same side, just so I'm facing you in the camera, but once you find yourself onto that second side, same thing, find a pillow, arm rest, or some other item you might have with you, and then do a little free play into that shoulder. Maybe you're even playing some music in your head to help that flow of the arm, the shoulder, the elbow. And then again, taking a round or two of twists where you inhale, open it up, reach it back. And then close it up. Take that second twist whenever you're ready. It could go deeper. It can be more shallow. Maybe you're even noticing the difference in your two twists from the left side to the right side. Close up your second twist. Move into your third. And if you did have a rather a large difference or even a subtle difference in your twists from left to right, maybe you consider why that is. When you're moving throughout your day, do you always turn to the right and never the left, or rarely the left? Is it possible to change that pattern for a little bit more balance in your body? After you're done with that twist, you can close it up. And then you're gonna move that top leg with that palm as your little kickstand. Again, any directions, any which way. And then find yourself when you're ready onto your back. Rest for just a moment or two. Find that inhale, exhale again. Maybe even placing belly on chest, placing hands on belly or chest so that you can notice where you're filling up and how deep you're going at your natural rate. Can you get the ribs to move a bit more on your inhales and your exhales? Expanding to the sides, pushing into the floor, and then coming closer together on the exhales. Last few movements before we come to a seat, so if you need to rock or roll or twist a bit more, then take a moment here to wiggle it out. Two options to come to a seat. You can either roll up or you can come onto a left or a right side and push up. And if you immediately go to the right side to push up, maybe you lean to the left and then push up. Once we're in a seat, take a big inhale, draw the shoulders up to the ears, and then exhale to pull them down and away. Inhale. And exhale them down. Once more. Imagine that you're taking your shoulder blades and you're not only drawing them in closer to each other towards the spine, but you're also pulling them down towards your pockets. Your whole shoulder is going to move with you. So if you have a little bit of a rounding on the front side, you're going to pull the blades in towards the spine and then draw them down. It's very subtle, so if you don't feel it immediately, over time of doing that and working with it, you might feel the shoulders move even more. Once you get a little firmness in the shoulder girdle, hopefully you feel a little bit more free in your neck to let the ears bob side to side. Maybe you circle round. Perhaps you look left and right over your shoulders. Any other motions that feel good. Keeping that integration with the neck into the shoulders where there's engagement along the backs of the shoulders, down the sides, under the armpits. Nice. Plant the left palm to your side and on an inhale, reach it up. And then exhale, lean to your side. Again, inhale up. Plant the palm, switch. You're going to sweep to your second side. Two more. And this round we're going to pause and hold. So the left palm plants down, the right arm reaches up. You can reach up to your side. If you look at the length between your hip all the way through your fingers, you might even lean forward, round a bit. Extend the palm forward, maybe reach back behind you. The top shoulder reaches back as well. And everybody's different, but you might feel this stretch all the way along the sides from like your armpit down to the floor where your hip is seated. Then next time you inhale, bring it up. Switch it out, exhale, lean. And then work that same stretch and reach. Inhale. onto the palms, hands, and knees. You can always put a blanket under the knees. You can even fold your mat over double time so that you end up having a little bit more cushion for the palms. Another great option for palms is to not have them stacked directly under the shoulders, but a little bit in front of. And we're gonna circle around to allow the hips, allow the wrists to start taking a little bit more weight, wiggling a little into the knees, into the shoulders, and allowing our wrists and palms to warm up. Come on to the palms, allowing stillness. And the next time that you exhale, you're going to lower all the way down onto the belly. Excuse me while I adjust my mic for a moment so I'm not suffocating the sound here. All right, so once you're down onto your mat, you're going to bring the palms to your side, face down or face up. Yogi's choice, it's definitely different. You have an internal rotation of the shoulders or an external. One might feel better than the other. You're going to keep the shoulders lifted, the face more or less down towards the floor, and as if you're trying to headbutt that wall in front of you. Extend through the neck, reach the fingertips down towards the toes. On your next inhale, lift up just a little bit higher, reach a little bit further, fingertips one direction, top of the head the other. And when you exhale next, you're going to come all the way down to the mat. Option to bring palms in front, forearms down, one cheek or the other, or just forehead to the mat. And we're going to work that second time, but you can add the legs if you'd like. So once the palms are behind you, and you bring the shoulders up, the chest up, the face is more or less down towards the floor. We're working the crown of the head towards that opposite wall and the fingers away. Optional, let the legs lift as well. We're talking about a couple of inches off the floor, nothing big. I want to keep that low back nice and long. If you have the opportunity to find a little bit of movement here, you're more than welcome to play around. You don't have to be still. And I could give you some ideas, but maybe you just try a couple on your own, whatever comes to mind, or perhaps you're looking up at the screen and noting what I'm doing. The next time that you exhale, you're going to lower down and maybe choose the other cheek to rest on. When you're ready, you're going to press back up into tabletop. I'm going to place my microphone back onto me. And then once you're there in your tabletop, plant the palms down, tuck your back toes, and lift the knees slightly off the ground. If that's a bit of a challenge, maybe you just go with one knee at a time. Or even if it's the briefest moment, lift and hold and then set them down. But you always have the option of hanging on up top, knees high. And then lower the knees back down or come to stillness if you're working with one at a time. One more round where we squeeze through the belly on the front side. Feel the muscles all the way down from the armpits to the hips. You're also engaging through the back side so that we don't drop the belly towards the floor. We're lifting it up towards the ceiling. You might even have a puff in the upper chest. Maybe the knees go up a little bit higher where they need to drop down early. All is just moving and going, shifting. All of it is acceptable. So drop it back down. Maybe you even sit back slightly. Your body can come all the way down towards your heels, or you can stay a bit more upright and your forearms can come down. But either way, find a spot, a position that you can rest in. And then push back up to your tabletop. And we're going to work in just 2 low lunges today. So however you can get there, you're going to bring that right foot forward. Find some length from the tailbone to the top of the head. Might even help to push the palms into the thigh. The top of that back left foot is pressed into the ground. And then find a stretch for that front right back hip wherever you need to shift to feel it. So you might push forward with the hips, you might stay more upright, or you might even be quite a bit forward, but you will find a stretch where you need it. And if you don't need a stretch in the front hip, is there a way that you can engage through the legs to find a different activation or a different stretch? Maybe there's a pulling of the feet and legs if they're trying to close up towards each other. Maybe you're pressing your big toe in, maybe palms and hands are at your hip or waist, or some place you want to be a little bit more aware of. And then we're going to switch. So palms come down, we're going to shift our foot back, and then bring the other one forward. And same. I'll give you a little bit more time to do this without hearing my voice. So standing up tall, back foot presses into the mat, and then find an activation or stretch that's similar to the other side or different if it needs to be. Once you've enjoyed the stretch or activation on this second side, then plant the palms back down, find your foot behind you, and we're going to take a brief down dog. Another option instead of a down dog is to bring the palms forward and the upper chest is a down dog, but the legs stay knees down on the mat. This gives your shoulders a little bit of work without all the weight of coming to a down dog more traditionally, where you tuck the toes and lift the bottom towards the sky. Everybody's down dog looks completely different. I've got minimal length in the legs, so my down dog looks short usually. But once you find that down dog, wiggles here and there might be nice to get a little stretch and movement going. And then once you're done with this first down dog, then drop back onto the knees. We're going to take a baby push-up. So it's your choice. You can either come to a plank position, long from heels to top of head, or stay down on those knees, lower as slow as you can. Long from tailbone to top of head. Go as low as you can hold without feeling like you're dumping into one place or the other with weight. And then push it back up. We'll take one more down dog where you're either down on your knees and you shift back, or you bring the heels up and the knees long and the bottom towards the sky. And you can stay a little bit longer if you need to, but we're going to do another push-up. So as you shift forward, come to the knees, and tuck the toes, and then decide if you're going to drop a little bit lower or stay a little bit higher. But either way, go slow and intentional. Strong from tailbone to top of head. Squeeze like you're laughing so hard to the belly. Push it back up. And then have a rest. So either sink back, bottom towards heels, or you can stay a little bit more upright. Forearms down, head down. And come to a seat any which way that you'd like. Again, you can always add props underneath you or on your bottom, or you can have legs long, or if this is just not your favorite place to be, then lay back down on your back. We're going to take a few moments to find a bit of quiet with ourselves, with our minds. So find a comfortable position that you don't have to worry about holding on to anything. You're not engaging anywhere intentionally. You can find a bit of ease. Feel the brow relax. The tongue drops from the roof of the mouth and the jaws lax. And your breath starts to return to a natural state. of its own accord. Inhales and exhales. A softening through the neck. The shoulders are sinking away from the ears. The elbows are grounding down towards the floor. And if you're laying down and you're feeling heavier and heavier as you press into the earth through the top of your head all the way down to your heels, or in seat, your sit bones sink further into the mat underneath you. A few more inhales and exhales at whatever pace you'd like. No longer noticing how they're filling the body or not. You're letting nature take up its course as you breathe in and out. And if you'd like an extended moment in this position, I welcome you to pause your video or to turn it off and lie or sit as long as you need to. If it's the end of your day, maybe it's a bit longer. And if this is the start, then maybe not too much longer. So keep that energy high. Thank you for sharing your time with me today. The light in me, the light in you, the light in all of us that shines brightly. I see and I honor it. Thank you for your practice.